Hello guys, and welcome back to Car Obsession. You join me with the brand new Audi e-tron, the first fully electric car from the German brand. But will I have a positive reaction or will it be shocking? Okay, that's really bad. On that note, let's do some driving. So, now this is going to be a quick drive. I've only got this car for about 10 or 15 minutes, so this is really my first impressions. It's not even really a first drive, it's more like a brief drive. So, yes, the Audi e-tron, a very important car for Audi. As I mentioned, it is the first fully electric car to come from the German brand. So let me talk to you about the powertrain. So, it offers 402 horsepower with 664 Newton meters of torque, and because this car is of course electric, that torque is delivered instantaneously, and this car is very easy to drive and it's very responsive. The ride is also really smooth. It's a really comfy car, and it's just soaking up the bumps rather nicely. They sound worse than what they actually are. The cabin is barely being disturbed. There's a good reason for the smooth ride, because as standard, the e-tron receives adaptive air suspension, which features pneumatic springs that can adjust individually to the road conditions and the driver's preferences, varying the ride height by as much as 76mm. So in regards to performance, even though this is a big car, this will crack 62 miles per hour in 5.7 seconds. That's like hot hatch territory. Amazing stuff. And this car is limited to a top speed of 124 miles per hour. Now, a few moments ago, I spoke about the weight. Now, thanks to clever engineering and the clever placement of the batteries for this car actually has a nigh on 50-50 weight distribution, and its centre of gravity is similar to that of a family saloon car. So although this is a big high-riding SUV, it's got a relatively low centre of gravity. That means it should be quite good in the corners. So with that in mind, let's hit a few corners and see what's what. Now yes, there is a bit of body roll, but come on guys, that's to be expected. But you know what? Okay, granted, I'm not pushing the car particularly hard, but it does handle better than you may expect from such a big car. Now this does of course have quattro all-wheel drive, a very famous system for Audi of course. So yes, you get better traction in the corners and obviously in the slippery, icy or wet conditions. Now interestingly, for the most part, it's the rear electric motor that is doing most of the work. Power isn't fed to the front until you want more power or the system thinks you need more grip. So for the most part, you could say this is rear-wheel drive. So no understeer jokes. Now the handling may be impressive for a car of this size, but I'm sure what you really want to know is the range. After all, that's one of the most important areas of any electric car. So Audi states that this car has a range of 248 miles, which, okay, it's not quite as much as what you can get from a Tesla, but for day-to-day usage, it should be absolutely fine. Now in regards to charging times and that kind of jazz, well, I'll give you a nice voiceover to give you more details on that. Yes, thanks Aaron. So, charging times. If you happen to use a 150 kilowatt fast charging station, you'll be able to get the battery charged to 80% in just 30 minutes, and it will take 50 minutes to get to 100%. Okay, back to you Aaron. Right, let's test out their performance, blimey. That's electric. I'm sorry, I really couldn't resist. I know that's terrible, but I had to say it. But joking aside, the performance is impressive. Like I said, I know I keep saying it's a big car. Yes, you're probably getting sick and tired of me saying it, but for a big car, the performance is impressive. it just makes progress effortlessly. The steering has got a good weight to it. The feedback isn't too bad actually. The brakes perform pretty well, although I will say the brakes are a little bit grabby, but obviously this car does have recuperation. So when you brake or lift off, the system is able to recuperate energy that would normally be lost and is able to feed that energy back into the battery, so you get better range. So yes, when you do brake, it can feel a little bit grabby, but that's just because of the energy recuperation system. Now, you may have spotted I have paddles on the steering wheel. You may have spotted it on this GoPro here. And they aren't to change gears, they are actually to change how much you want the energy recuperation to kick in. And these virtual wing mirrors are impressive stuff. They're actually, well, they are an option, but they are a world first on a production car. So that is impressive stuff. And they've got a really nice clarity to them as well. Good definition, but this is an Audi, so you would expect the quality to be high, and it ought to be because this car starts from around £71,000. So in the same kind of ballpark as what you would pay for a Tesla Model X. As mentioned, the e-tron starts from a price of around £71,000 or £71,520 if you want to be more specific. That is a fair chunk of cash to hand over, but thankfully you do get a good amount of features, including 20-inch alloys, adaptive air suspension, Audi Drive Select, LED headlights, LED rear lights, leather seats, heated front seats, dual zone climate control, 10.1-inch touchscreen and 8.6-inch touchscreen, Audi virtual cockpit, keyless entry, wireless phone charging, reversing camera, cruise control, a good suite of safety systems, plus more. What about space? As you would expect from the exterior dimensions, there's plenty of space to be had inside. In the rear, there's ample legroom and headroom. There's also a big boot as well, which offers a generous 660 litres, so that should be more than enough for most buyers. Just before we finish, I'm just going to pop it into comfort because I've had the car in dynamic. And let's just see how it changes the suspension. That's really smooth, that's really comfortable. Even in dynamic mode, this car is far from jarring in regards to its suspension setup, but pop it into comfort, and my word, the steering becomes lighter, and this car, it almost feels like a cloud. This car is like driving an electric cloud. There we are, Audi. I bet no one has ever said that about your e-tron until now. Just so floaty and wafty. I can hear the bumps, but I can barely feel them. Cracking stuff. But unfortunately, my time with this car is all but over. As I said, this was a quick drive in the car. My first impressions, and first impressions are good. I think this car is going to be a good seller for Audi. Yes, I know it's not the cheapest car going, but if you want a large SUV that's refined, upmarket, offers a good amount of space both in regards to the boot and the rear, a good amount of technology as well, and I think it's a good looking car as well. So for me, this car's got many big ticks next to it. So yes, I do believe this will be a strong seller for Audi. But anyway, time for me to finish. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If so, please do give it a massive thumbs up. So there's a little jazz band sort of thing in the background. Do apologise if you can hear that on the audio. Yes, if you have enjoyed it, please do give it a thumbs up. If you are subscribed, please don't forget to click that bell icon so you get notified every time I make a video. And if you aren't subscribed, guys, what are you waiting for? Be sure to subscribe for more car obsession.